We are live at Oceanport 1 with the star of the day from opening day, Harary of the Knights, who hit a long walk-off home run in the bottom of the 11th. First of all, how does it feel to hit a walk-off home run?
Unbelievable. Anytime you contribute to a win itself, you know. But that's just like crazy.
The crazy thing is we mentioned it during the game that 2 years ago you hit 2 home runs on opening day. Opening day is becoming a tradition for you for the long ball.
I love opening day. You know why?
Why?
Because there's no yesterday.
Yeah.
You didn't go 0 for 4 last week. Everyone's got a clean slate. I love it.
How come when you were on JT's team you couldn't contribute with an opening day home run?
Maybe, I don't know.
How was it playing for JT last year?
I didn't mind it at all. He's a great guy. I think he's a good captain.
Yeah.
Great teammates on that team as well. We just didn't get it done.
You guys fell just a little bit short, and
too hot for us. I don't know.
Yeah, you lost some heartbreakers also.
Yes,
You could have had 2-3 more wins. You lost that opening day game when Dano scored from first.
My goodness.
The 3-0 lead, that was crazy when you had a meltdown in the field.
My goodness. Yeah, you reminded me though.
Yeah, you lost a couple of crazy games that you could have never have lost, and JT could have been in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Knights. Everyone was talking about the Knights going into this year. What a draft they had, what a lineup they had. For instance, what number did you bat in the lineup?
I was batting 8th.
You were batting 8th with your power, and you're a real bat in this league for a long time. You were batting 8th.
But you know what I gotta say? I have absolutely no problem with it. I'm just like humbled to be on this type of team. You have like so many legends.
You have legends.
Learning from these guys, Max Sutton, DR, Saban.
Yeah.
Even got Beta is amazing. And I'm gonna forget people because we have so many good players. We got Farka, Eshko, you know, the whole team. Marty.
It's rare. You have 3 lefties. You, Farka, and Michael Beta, all lefties. So the right fielders got to wake up when they're playing your team. But the one question mark that you really have is that pitcher. And on opening day, you led 2-1 in game 1. You blew that by giving up 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th. They walked off with Edmund and with Lee got a huge hit. Johnny Laazar got a huge hit in that game, all with 2 outs. And then, of course, Edmund ripped a single to right field over here to walk off. So you had a lead in the 7th, and he blew it. Then in the next game, you were up 6-4. They had 9-10-1 coming up. Leadoff walk to Dano and the 9-hole. Base hit by Irving, the Birdman, in the 10-hole. They turn the lineup, and they're able to score 2 runs to tie the game. This has to be a huge concern for the Knights. Leo on the bump.
I mean, I don't think Leo's a concern. No, Leo's good enough. Leo won this league 2 years ago.
Yes.
Around him. So I don't think Leo's a major issue. But you know, we all know we got to close out games better. We don't want to, you know, give away the game at the end. I'm not going to blame the first game on him because it was only 2-1, and we could have scored from a few more runs for him. He was pitching, you know, really good all day. I don't still think he had a really good opening day. I think he's going to get better.
And you have to credit him that after he blew the game in the 7th to make it 6-all, he went the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and 11th, and didn't give up any runs. So you got to credit him in that regard. But I think other teams, they all fear your lineup. But they're saying, look what happened. Leo walked a couple of guys. I think he walked 12 guys in the double dip. So it's sort of keeping them in the game against you, where I'm sure you wanted to psych everybody out and be like this unbeatable team. Okay, let's talk about some of the big moments in this game. It was tremendous ball game, a back and forth. And you told me when we walked up here an amazing stat. Why don't you repeat it for our fans at home?
So during these 2 games with Threat Level Midnight, they're a great team.
Yeah.
Nobody led by more than 2 runs.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy.
Back and forth, and many lead changes because it was a 1-0 game. It went to 2-1, and then they won 3-2. And then your biggest lead in game 2 was 6-4 in the 7th inning.
We fought back in that game. You know, we were down 2-0 early. Beta hit a home run in the first to tie it up, and we took the lead. They came back. It was a great game.
So Beta's home run was like a fly ball deep. I don't know if it was catchable or not, but your home run was a launch. And how much did it bother you that this is not captured on camera by our crew? Our crew was sleeping. What happened here?
We'll give them a pass. It was opening day for them too. We'll give them a pass. I'm not here just to get my good shots on video. I'm here to win the game. We won the game. I'm happy.
How many years are you playing in the league?
It's a long time. I mean, I missed a few seasons, but my first year, my rookie year was like 2008. I played for Max Time. Tremendous.
Which team do you remember? Tremendous. Douglas.
For Max and Doug.
Yeah. What other teams stick out in your mind that you played on? What
man, the best team I ever played on up till now was the Royals. Remember the Royals?
Of course I remember the Horns. Yeah, the Royals.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, the Royals. Hold on.
We made it to Game 5 of the World Series and lost to A.B. Saka's team. Leonard Skinner?
Yes.
Yeah, was that
Yeah. Mo Shama,
A.B. Saka,
Jack Jamal, Marty, Franco. Great team.
Great
teams. That was a 5-game World Series?
Yeah.
Wow.
What a World Series.
The Royals walked off on my team. Jimmy had a walk-off hit in the LCS or in the first round. I forgot what it was.
It was the LCS.
Royals were a
to the
tremendous
World
team.
Series.
Who was your pitcher on that team?
Max Indeed.
That team was great. That team could have won a World Series for sure. Okay. Threat level Midnight. Their big question this year, of course, was their pitcher Eddie Harary. What did you think? What was your first impression of Eddie Harary, or did you know him already from the other leagues?
You know what? I never seen him play.
Yeah.
I heard great things about him, and he's the real deal.
Yeah.
He's going to be good in this league for a long time. He pitched amazing. He really did. All throughout the day, we didn't have a huge inning off of him. We got a few runs here, a few runs there, but he limited it. And especially in the first game where we only scored 2 runs, he did a great job. So I have to give him a ton of credit. He's a great pitcher.
He's a great pitcher. We heard a couple of different things about him. We heard he's unbelievable. He's never going to lose a game, which obviously, that doesn't happen really in this league. No one's going undefeated.
Right.
Although don't tell Nate B and don't tell the Cucumbers that. But that's A. The other thing we heard is that he throws the same pitch every time, but that was not the case.
Not really. You know what? He pounds the strike zone. He moves the ball around corner to corner. He has a changeup.
Yeah.
He's really a fastball changeup guy, but part of pitching is location. He locates the ball. He gets it over. He makes the hitters hit.
Yeah, and
very good.
Not too many walks or anything like that.
No.
And I loved his whole attitude, his presence on the mound. He was controlling the game.
Yes.
But Dano really built a strong defense. I think an underrated defense around him. T.I. in short center made that diving stop early. Edmund had the game of his life.
Great game. I want to say great job, Edmund, defensively, and also with the big hit in the first game. He really looked great out there. This team is for real.
Yeah, this team, I think threat level Midnight and the Knights, I said it before opening day, this could be a World Series preview, and it really could be. It really could be. Well, let's go over to some of the other fields. I'm sure you saw the highlights.
I sure did. I always watch your videos.
Okay, we had, unfortunately, an off week this week, which is killing everybody. This is our second rain out in 2 weeks, so everyone had more time to watch highlights and everything. Let's go to Mo Haber and To the Moon, and that route, that I don't know what you even could call it. It was a whiplash by the Cucumbers, who totally destroyed them. Did you expect that from the green team, from the Cucumbers?
I have to be honest, no. On paper, after the draft, I just didn't think the Cucumbers were one of the better teams in the league.
Right.
But they proved me wrong. They really they came to play. We all know Jacobati might bat 1,000 this year. He's unbelievable. But the rest of the team stepped up, and if they get that type of production from the other hitters around him, like is Braha batting behind him?
Braha's batting behind him.
Braha batting behind him, hitting like that.
Yeah,
this team's gonna be unreal. And then you had big games from the other players, right? A.B. Dwack.
Everyone had a big game.
Yeah.
DK had a humongous game. DK, the power hitter, all of a sudden. Humongous game. ABD had a big double in game 1. But there's a couple of ways to look at it. First of all, when they walked the baddie, Mark Braha stepped up. He had a triple. He had a home run. That was big. But basically, a baddie's got to sort of bat leadoff because he's got to have protection. The whole league is going to go into this thing where they just walk him.
Where was he batting this week?
I think he was batting 2. I think Jake was 1, a baddie 2. I'm sure they'll stay with what you're not going to change anything off of last week. That's for sure. But a couple of things. A baddie owns Ralph Hannon. Last year, he also scored 18 runs against Ralph Hannon's team in the final week of the season. That was a Mo Casson team with
He actually
Favora.
had 2 homers.
He had 2 homers in that week.
And the third one was robbed by Shimmy.
That's right.
Yeah, I have a good memory.
He should have had a 3 home run game. Very good.
He's tremendous.
Wow, very good. So he totally owns Ralph Hannon. That's A. B. Besides for a baddie shot that hit the fence and fine, basically. The other home runs, if you look at them, I don't know how many of them were real, legitimate home runs. I think the outfielders could have gotten to some of them. I think a couple of triples were turned into home runs. A lot of them were in the air for long, and it was my concern with Mo Haber's team going in that I didn't love their outfield, and I don't love their outfield, and I think that contributed to it a little bit also. So I'm not sure if the Kakambas are going to be this team that scores double digits every week, or if Mo Haber's team is that bad. I don't know. Well, what's your gut? What do you think?
On the Kakambas?
Yeah.
They look good.
They look really good.
They have a great defense, too.
Yes.
About their defense, they got Ibisulia.
At second base, they have.
I want to say on camera, he's a shortstop.
Yeah.
I don't know why he never got an opportunity. This kid can play shortstop. He's outstanding. I played with him. He makes every single play. He's tremendous.
Their D is beyond tremendous.
Right.
They have SNT at third.
Excellent.
Solid.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Braha at short. A baddie short center. Abe Soroya at second base. And then you go to the outfield.
Jake Dweck in center field.
Jake Dweck in center.
He's as good as it gets.
And then DK in left.
Love DK.
It's tremendous.
He's a fast, good left fielder.
Yeah. And then you have ABD, Hollywood Dweck, knows his role, DHing and just standing by first base no matter who's batting at all times.
I think that he's going to have a good season playing, with
his
this
boys.
team, his
Yeah.
boys. I do think that they're going to get the best out of A.B. Dweck this year. I'm expecting good things from him.
We have to point out, though, that To The Moon was leading game 1 late. They were up, 5-3 in the 6th inning or something like that. And then when they went down 6-5, they had men on the corners. MC had a base hit and Shalou had a base hit. It was a clear base hit, clear first and third situation with 1 out. A sac fly with whoever bats third in that lineup ties the game. And MC, for some reason, made a very foolish play and tried to score. I mean, the ball's on the infield.
Tried to score from where?
He tried to score. He was on first. Shalou had the base hit. He went to third. And then he rounded third trying to score, and he got caught in that pickle that you saw.
Boy.
You saw the pickle, back and forth, and he was tagged out for the second out of the inning. Next guy popped up, and then that game was over. I don't know where MC was going on that. To me, that was a huge mistake. And I think that loss obviously played an effect into the next loss, and that could be a game changer for the whole season. That boneheaded first game base running error by Michael Cohen. So I don't know what he was thinking. We've seen it with Joe G. In the World Series, he got himself into a pickle that he shouldn't have gotten into. He lost that game. It could have cost the White Walkers the World Series, and it didn't, but it could have. So let's see what happens with this base running blunder. Okay, let's move on to Fireman's East, where we had time. Zach Ashkenazi's 2021 version of Butter, and then of course the world champions swimming. Very different look to this squad, as they have Jeffrey Saka. Never seen Zach with Jeffrey. It's a different crew. You have Jimmy, and you got Shimmy and Aharon. It's like a different flavor.
Zach and I've been in the league a long time. I've seen Zach and Jeffrey on the Marlins.
Sammy Towell.
When Zach was like 16, they were with that team. But you're right. Z is a captain with Jeffrey.
Student of the game over here. Student of the league. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm getting old. I've been around.
This is unbelievable. You're right.
It was a good team too.
The Marlins are the world champions.
Yes.
They were phenomenal. And Jeffrey played great that year.
Jeffrey was awesome.
Jeffrey played great that year. Maybe Zach thinks that's what he drafted this year. I don't know, but we'll see.
And you know what? Jeffrey had an unbelievable season last year for the Diamondbacks.
He did.
And it was just overshadowed by Max and swimming. Any other year, he could have been a Cy Young award winner. He was great.
I got to tell you the truth also. On that terrible red Mean Machine team, 2 years ago, They were in a tiebreaker game that went 14 innings. Jeffrey lost that game 1-0.
Wow.
1-0 14-inning game on a broken play where Maurice Harary scored from first base, if you remember that play. So Jeffrey's been really good the last couple of years.
He has.
And then you have the Aces, Mavora, very interesting. They are going with a 4-man outfield.
Really?
Exclusively.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's unheard of.
Unheard of in this league, although he says that other leagues, this is what they all do.
What other leagues?
Whatever.
I don't know.
In other words, like American softball leagues, when they play with 10, they all go 4 across.
Yeah, they have a rover, or what do you call it? A short left?
Sometimes they do a short left, sometimes they do. So he's got the 4 outfilders, and according to both teams, it sort of worked in this game. A couple of robbed shots.
Really?
Yeah. I know in particular Saul Towell, my chief of staff, he hit a liner in what would have been the gap, but it ends up going directly to the, one of the 4 outfielders. And this kid, Joey Cohen at short, made every play at shortstop.
I heard good things about him.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see him play yet, but I heard good things about him.
Yeah, not the most media savvy,
No.
but made a couple of diving stops to prevent balls going from up the middle. So, I mean, the team looks good. They have Max Yedid, obviously. They have Nanu at third. Nanu really was struggling with some of the throws. I don't know if he's hurt or not, but I think both those teams looked pretty good. Neither of them hit their stride yet or anything. But what are your thoughts on these two squads?
Let's start with time.
Okay.
Where does Zach come up with these names?
Tom!
They're great. They're great team name.
The league should know.
Yeah.
The first at bat, Eddie Richte's batting, first or second at bat of the game.
Okay.
He steps out, he goes, time. The whole time, people, time.
Zach, you're a great captain. Love it.
I love the vibe on the
Yes.
Zach team.
The
It's the
Zach
best.
team always has great vibes, and that's really important. It really is. So let's start with time. They seem pretty good. You got Jeffrey. I think he's gonna have a great year. You got Zach, who's probably the best guy in the league. Jimmy, expecting great things from him.
Yeah.
But then you got a lot of interesting parts to this team. How are they going to mesh together?
Yeah, you have some parts that need to come together.
Right.
The key to this team is the middle bottom of the lineup. Someone like Jigga can't be batting 300. He's got to be batting 450. That makes a difference. Someone like Saul's got to be batting, and Jimmy's got to have a monstrous year.
Yes, he
because
does.
Otherwise, Zach won't see a pitch this year. It's
That's
up
correct.
to Jimmy. I love Shimmy and Harary. I love them both. They're solid outfielders out there.
Me too, and they're great hitters, especially Shimmy. He's a great hitter.
Yeah. I think this team's lineup is better than most people believe it is. I think these bottom of the lineup type of guys all know how to hit. I don't see too many easy outs in this team.
I happen to agree with you.
Yeah, but most people don't agree with us, so I guess we'll see.
I think time is. I think they're a pretty good team, and I do see them making the playoffs.
Okay.
I do. I think they'll make it.
A limited playoff this year with only 5
playoffs,
teams. Yeah.
Limited playoffs, but I think with the star power they got, Zach, Jimmy, good supporting cast, good defense, and good pitcher. I think they'll get it.
On the Aces, I really believe the key to that whole team is Nanu. He's got to be a monster. Nanu's got to be a monster at third base. He's got to hit the cover off the ball this year, which he's been doing for years already, but he's got to bring his A game this year. I really think they need him. Irwin may have a good year. He finally got drafted, not as the first pick or the second pick. He was like the third pick. I think he could relax and just play his game. He's so naturally talented. I want to see it just come out this year. And they have Max Yedid. So if he has a decent defense, which he does, I think they should be strong. I really do. But not everyone can be strong, which brings me up to Cherokee's Tribe, Abe Saka's team. You played in the Abe Saka regime on the Lumber Kings 2 years ago. You have Cherokee's Tribe who got swept by Nate B, and you gotta believe. Are we worried about the Tribe, or is it just Nate B?
Absolutely not worried.
Not worried.
Not at all.
Tell me why.
Why? Well, first of all, you got Abe Saka, who he's never out until he's out. I played on the Lumber Kings. We were 1-7.
1-7.
And we bounced back somehow. We found our way into the semis.
Yeah.
Because Abe Saka doesn't quit. And this team has the right mix of veterans, especially And they just added Mo Shamma?
They
That's
added
crazy.
Mo Shamma, but we didn't play. So if Elliot Saka has a miraculous recovery, he could still not be replaced officially. But yes, they have Mo Shamma for the outfield only.
Which is still fine. I think he'll play a fine left field.
He's a great outfielder, by the way.
I think he'll be fine.
He's a legendary shortstop, though, but he will not see the infield this year.
That's okay.
But that's okay. AB Saka's team, I was surprised at how out of the game against Naby they got. Naby was not on fire in this game.
Oh, really?
I mean, he's so great. He should have been player of the week if not for what a bad he did. He won 2 games, gave up 2 runs in each game, and he batted 5 for 6 or 6 for 7. He was phenomenal. But he, by his own admission, said, I didn't have my perfect stuff today.
That's scary because he held that lineup to like 2 runs a game, and
Yeah.
he didn't have his best stuff.
It's scary.
Watch out. I don't know how many runs he's going to give up this year, but not a lot.
He's scary. He's finally on a team where they didn't trade the whole roster for him.
Yes.
They could draft a normal team. I got to say what changed this game. If I'm going to get on MC in that other game, I have to get on Ali Marshall in this game. First 2 guys get on base, Bub, JT. Ali brings them both home with a triple.
Wow.
But it was really a double. He should have stopped at second. It would have been 2-0. Nobody out, man, on second. Keep it moving.
Nobody out. Wow.
Instead, he makes the first out of the game at third base.
Wow.
The 2 runs are all they saw that game, and it's a loss. And then, I don't like when you make base running mistakes like that to let the other team off the hook. Now It's 1 out, nobody on. Those 2 runs are history. Navy takes a deep breath, recoups, and never gave up another run that whole game.
You're absolutely right, Norman. You're absolutely right, especially against Navy.
Right.
Especially. You know?
Navy has Jordy and Hank on the left side. He's got A.B. Cohen in center. He has some bats. My concern was really the bottom of the lineup. I was dead wrong so far. I guess we'll see what happens next week.
So about that team,
yes,
their hitting is better than people thought.
Yes.
And I want to give a shout out to somebody.
Who?
Solomon Dweck.
Yeah.
He's a good line drive hitter. We've been practicing together, and I think he's gonna have a good year. And this lineup is better than it looks because you got scrappy hitters. You got him. You got also AJ, Jordy, you know about Henry, Shalou, Steven Vitesh.
Ruben Shalou.
I don't know what he bats, but when you need a clutch hit, he always comes through.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what he bats. It
doesn't matter.
Or when you need a sack fly or whatever you need. By the way, you mentioned Sal Dweck. He played for the Phillies 2 years ago, and then he played for A.B. Saka's team last year. This guy hits the ball hard. You are so right. He makes great contact. I've been saying it for years. He is not an automatic out. They played him too shallow in center, and the ball went over his head. And I think the ball went over JT's head. JT should know that Sal could hit because he played with him 2 years ago in Philadelphia. Okay, any teams you're particularly worried about?
Well, I got to start with Navy's, you got to believe.
Yeah.
Like swimming last year, it was a team for the ages.
Yes.
And they didn't give up any runs. They played unbelievable defense, and they had the best pitcher, one of the best pitchers. This team has everything you want out of a championship team. You have the best pitcher in the league.
Yes.
You got gloves at every position. You have Ruby Saka up the middle.
Yep.
He's so good.
Ruby Saka, Hank, Jordy. It's a really good infield.
And then Steven Vitesh.
Yeah.
And the outfield, you have AJ in the outfield.
Yeah.
So he's everywhere. When you think you have a shot in the gap, ABJ runs it down.
Yeah.
So they're going to be so hard to score against. And they can also score themselves. They're going to be so hard to beat.
It's a great team.
they're the team to beat. Navy's the team to beat every year.
Right.
But this year, he has a great supporting cast.
Yeah.
So they're the team to beat.
It seems like a Navy type of year. He's certainly due.
Yeah, he is.
He's certainly due. We got to see him do something already in this league. Last few years have been a little quiet for him. Okay, so I guess we'll see how it goes next week. We're not ready for predictions just yet, Mo. It's only, it's the beginning of the week still. We got to space things out with this off week. And all I got to say is 62 and sunny on Sunday morning. That's the forecast. Let's go. Mo Harary, great guest.
It's an
What
honor to be here. Thanks for having me.
How knowledgeable you are of YMSL
you know?
history.
Yeah, been around a while.
I'm surprised. I think a lot of people will be surprised. So great to have you. Great job on the home run. My personal apologies that we did not have it on film. That's a terrible job by us.
Okay.
We'll do better in the future, and good luck with your team going forward.
Yep.
Thanks, Mo.
Thank you.